Hello, and welcome to My Creative Corner 3. This week on the audio podcast, I talked about the potential of starting a frugal living segment. And that's not going to happen this week because if you'll notice, my hair didn't get cut. And part of the whole thing was unveiling my thoughts about wardrobe in frugal living. So that's going to happen next week because the beautician got sick. So I thought I'd try. It's a nice sunny day outside, maybe looking at different parts of my house that are available for filming. And this corner seems to be doing pretty well today. So since I saw you last in Vlogmas, I decided that I needed a few quick projects, things that are almost instant gratification. So let's look. I got this candy jar, and you can see that instead of throwing it away, I washed it up, my brother's famous peanut brittle, and I used foil. Now with the lighting, it's not that great, but you can tell that I put a little fox on it, and with that sparkle and shine, it's really a very fun, simple, and instant type of project on a glass container that may not otherwise have been that special. I even took some of the weeded part and put that on the top. I just thought it was too cute to throw away. So I'm going to step from the side and you can see there is a little fox on the jar. Something else that I did, because foil is new to me and I'm learning as I go, is I took a candle. I burnt all of the candle out and then I put it in the freezer after I wiped out the best I could and then chipped out the frozen parts of what was left. And I put buttons in this particular container. And so it makes a great storage jar. You can see the Design Space has these particular patterns on, it's a Cricut subscription program. And I have my super cute, these were under Scandinavian, little instant gratification products on things that would have otherwise been thrown away. So the last thing that I did was a set of 3 wee yogurt jars. And I bought a candle that is made of wax. However, it is battery operated. Dropped it in one of the wee yogurt jars that had been cleaned. And then I cut out 3 cute little hearts. And different sizes. I have the collection of 3 little yogurt jars with the hearts around the fox on the table. Glittery, cute. It almost looks like it should be like a wine decanter or something, but it's very, very cute. And you know, maybe if I get more buttons, I'll put the buttons in the candy jar. But overall, those were my quick instant gratification things. The long-term projects that I have been working on continue. Let's show the long-term project is this hexagons. Each 7 hexagons were using a code for last year. I did January through August. Each color of this week represents the high temperature. And you can see that this was a colder month and this one was a little bit warmer. I played around with maybe appliquing them on a background. I didn't particularly like the first hexagon, so I took it apart and decided that I wanted to do a connected hexagon, but I wasn't sure. I didn't want to do a grandmother's flower garden. So I sewed, you can tell they all have papers in them, and I'm going to take them out. So I have, it's going to be this wide. It's going to be just a little tiny quilt, maybe a wall hanging. And this is my first time making English paper piece things. And I found this Moda Grunge in my stash of fabric, which I don't have tons. And I thought, doesn't that look really cute with putting all of this bright colors on it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out more hexagons for those spaces here and spaces here. And then it's one unit. And then I'll have to decide what I'm going to do about the edges when I get to it. I may just machine stitch them down with a straight stitch. But as you can tell, it's going to be super cute. These are going to connect on this flat side, and then the next row will be in the same direction. So you're going to have some spacing gaps, like right here. And I keep dropping this, but you get the idea. There'll be this gray space in between. That's been super slow. This has been a 1-year hand stitching project, and I am ready to get the top together, and I'm ready to get it done. I will machine quilt it because I have a long arm. Hand sewing is fun. Hand quilting is fun too, but it's just something I don't do much of these days. My hands just don't like it. And the last thing that I have been working on is my pineapple quilt, and it's halfway pieced. So I want to show you how this is going. Upside down, upside right, and then half pineapples. Well, I think this will be the bottom because I like how this looks a little bit better. Upside down, upside right, and it's just coming along. I may have sewed this one upside down. Well, we'll see. I may take it apart and redo that. Isn't it funny how you find these things when you're showing people on camera? You don't see it with your eye in the same room, but overall, yeah, see, look at here. I did sew that row on upside down, but should I leave it? I don't know. We'll see what it looks like when it's done. Overall, I like this. It's going to have it's a total of 7 rows. 2 more rows, and it's tall enough that it could be bed size. And I'm going to put a white sashing strip across the top and bottom if my math served me correctly, and I have enough of that fabric, which is this crosshatch white. And it's different from all the different backgrounds that I used. So that's what I've been up to. I've been talking about some different things on the audio podcast, things like I've been trying to be healthier, and I chose my word for the year as self-care and taking care of myself, eating healthier. That hasn't been the greatest yet, but exercising every day. I'm doing walk at home, doing 1 mile minimum, sometimes 2 miles a day, trying to get my overall physical health better. And if I lose weight, great, but it's mostly about labs and well-being, the feeling of well-being. And I've been doing a great and keeping up with the Fly Lady system. I talk about that on the podcast. And I can always be found at mycreativecorner3.wordpress.com. And you can find links to the audio podcast as well as Instagram and Twitter. And overall, we're having a great time on My Creative Corner 3 Facebook group. And we're doing 15 minutes a day on one project this month. And I chose the hexagon project. Now, February, I'm going to make a little announcement here for those who may be participating. To prep for February, we're going to do some type of journaling. I'm going to do something I've always wanted to do and never have done, and that is art journal. And it can be whatever it is you want it to be. And I want to show you where I'm going with this. So let me go grab the idea for my journal. So to improve my long arm quilting several years ago, I started this little book. And I dated it 2013. This was basically something that I saw on the internet and eventually found someone locally to teach a class, and that's on Zentangle. It's a meditative form of doodling, basically. They have names for all of these types of drawings, and overall, you can learn how to meditatively make these repeating step outs, they call them, repeating doodles. over and over again. And you're going to find some of my favorite things over and over are these. And I found that doing this relaxed me enough to be able to do free motion quilting. I also learned a little bit about art and shading. I'm still not very good at it, but this was when I first started, and I did probably one a day or more. What's great about it is you only are spending like 15 minutes or so, and you can see feathers and all kinds of things that I translated to doing free motion quilting. So I went from that to incessant doodling, and I'll have to show you some of the doodles I did during long meetings and trainings that really helped me get through, especially when you have people that don't understand the mind of an ADHD creative person. I really listen more to what they're training if I have something that I can do in repetitive drawing. So that was this week, and you notice I have a couple different colors, but this especially here is practice for doing feathers on quilts and just having fun. So I thought what I wanted to do for February was more of art journaling. And I found this large book that was given to me as a gift. And this is a couple years old. And I've done a couple larger projects because these are doodles. But you can see I was practicing how to do my name in feathers. I was working on mandalas. I really like mandalas. I got a circular compass to make the circle. Here, this one I made 3 years ago. This is one of my favorite. I enjoyed that. And I thought, I want to finish this book in February and make, not necessarily mandalas, but more of art journaling. Now I'm on blank pages. Maybe take this and do like a journal page of the day. Maybe it's words, maybe it'll be doodles, maybe it'll take me a week or more to do a couple pages. I have paints, I have the Cricut that can cut out shapes. So that's my idea for February, is to spend 15 minutes a day working on maybe one page in a journal to do a total of 4 to help maybe get creative. Because that's the whole point of the creative challenge on My Creative Corner 3 is helping us to get a jump start on creativity. And I think doing a warm-up project like the Zentangle stuff, it really helped me. And I was feeling super creative when I was working on these types of projects before I ever sat down at my sewing machine, before I wrote out any patterns, and especially before I went on my long arm and did free motion quilting. So thank you everybody for stopping by. This is my weekly installment. I do an audio podcast weekly called My Creative Corner 3. They run anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes. And you can see here on the video some of the things that I talked about. And I do want to start a little series on the channel about frugal living and minimalism as a mindset. I also am doing a premium podcast in February called Zen and the Art of Creativity. So everybody have a wonderful week. I'll be back in approximately a week, and quilt on, everyone.